Hey folks, welcome to Playing in Traffic. I am Mikey underscore Heels. Mikey Heels. Mikey underscore Heels on YouTube. So this might be my favorite spot I've ever I've ridden this one wheel that I'm currently on now. Oh, what the bell's ringing? Oh, this one. Look familiar? Well, if it don't, I'm going to tell you what it is. Today, I've decided to venture into the one and only Hawkins, Indiana. Oh, I'm sorry. Not Hawkins, Indiana. Jackson, Georgia. The home of Hawkins, Indiana, from Stranger Things. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I've ridden this one wheel in many iconic locations: Bourbon Street, Times Square. Was I in Times Square? I was around Broadway, so I was pretty close. New York City, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, Philly. Yeah, I got some nice locations that I've been at. Today is going to be right there. I got to be honest, because as I turn, this is the one and only. This is the library. Hawkins Library right here. Let's see if we get good. Look at that. We get it somewhere positioned like that. Hawkins Library from Stranger Things, the public library. You know, I just finished up season 5. Me and Braxy B watched it in a day. And then I had to go back and look at, and I rewatched season 1. I'm going to rewatch the whole thing. Because in 2016, I don't know if it's age or whatever, but I'm gonna guarantee you one thing: I forgot almost everything, and that's sad to say. But from season 1, I went back to watch season 1, and was really like the fact that a lot of the places that I visited, film locations for Stranger Things. I'll give you a short list. So, Piggly Wiggly. What the heck is that one called? So the supermarket that Eleven blew the doors off of when she took the Eggos. Palace Arcade. Hawkins Police Department. The places that I went to already, actually seeing them in the episode, because when I went to them, it was about a bunch of years after I first saw them in season 1. So it was kind of cool to rewatch season 1 and go, oh, that's the way it looked on the show. That's the way the Hawkins Police Department looked on the show. That's the way Palace Arcade looked on the show. I kind of remember what Palace Arcade looked like within the show, but and those two places right there are in Douglasville, Georgia, and so why not come down to Jackson, Georgia? Jackson, Georgia is this. So like how many times, matter of fact, so right here, we're gonna go over to this corner because I want to talk about right there. So that's Hawkins headquarters right there. We're definitely going in there. We're getting hopefully some dope souvenirs today, with what money I brought. We're gonna go over that intersection right there, so I want to show you something. But look, there we go. With the sun behind it. It's the public library, and we know Hopper, they used that to figure out what the Stadies were doing, or let's get an idea what they were trying to do with that facility that they had close by to here. I'm walking, where is this at? 2nd Street and Mulberry, right here, right below me. I'll never forget. So I think that Joyce worked here. Worked in this building right here, and that was the like a general store. I'll put the name of it up. I'm not going to remember everything, folks. I'm at that very embarrassing age. And this was where her boyfriend Bob worked. This is currently Jackson. And that's a great idea. Jackson Escape Games right here. That used to be the Radio Shack. But man, right over here, pivotal discussion, because I think Jonathan parked his car right across this street, like right down here. Season 1, I forget what episode it was, but he had a serious chat with his mother Joyce, played by Winona Ryder. Right around here, they were talking about, he still didn't believe her about Will being alive, and there were some people staring at them, and then I think Jonathan at the end of the argument said, you know, show's over, you know, and got back in his car. I mean, the town at that point thought she was nuts, of course. But they already had a feel. They already had a vibe about the Byers family anyway, long before what happened to Will, happened. So yeah, so I did like that scene though. I really dig that scene. It happened right behind me, right on that corner. And I think, like I said, I think Jonathan parked his car right about there. And that's the one thing about this area. So how many times did you see the kids, whether it was Dustin and Mike and Lucas, you know, everybody riding through the town square or riding through this area to get to wherever they were going? And in most situations, it was the laboratory. So the laboratory grounds, because, you know, they had a feeling that you know, something was going on there. I think they met 11 there. Like they knew something. There was like a portal over there. Remember the weird thing with the thing that was showing the directional? It was kind of flipping around. Of course, 11 was messing with that too. But all right, I'm babbling and rambling. But how many times did you see them go through here? Like, it was crazy. Like, they did go through so much. It was like. And then in reality, the film locations and their residences, they're not right here, but that was the idea. Like, the residences were not too far from here. Say 3 blocks. I don't even know. They would be riding their bikes and then they'd be coming through here to go to the laboratory, which was in the woods. You know what I mean? But you figured the woods was about maybe a half mile away. So this was the epicenter of Stranger Things, and that's why I'm here today. To see and get a vibe, and it's, you know, and it's a wonderful thing. It really is fantastic. Yeah, so I decided to stop in Lucy Lou's for a latte. And Lucy Lou's is very cool. Rapping with the gentleman in here about the one wheel and whatnot. And then of course you got to see this, because as you're ordering, you can just look up and see the following. Look at this. Look at this. And you know what? In fact, from Dungeons and Dragons. And of course the Superville on Stranger Things, right up there. You know, he had that control over Max. Look at Max. Look at Max go levitating. Is it? Yeah. Well, not her own choice, but okay. So here we go. So today's going to be. I just stopped in Lucy Lou's. Got a real nice latte. Some fine gentlemen in there. Rapping with for a little bit. Got like a cinnamon roll. Like a piece of cake, really, really good. Check out this mural here. You know, I'm going to be shooting murals. Here's one right here with the Radio Shack sign hanging down too, as well. Very, very good. So a lot of info about the artist. Ellen's art right here. www.ellensart.com. That is Dustin right there, look.
So it's like she's trying.
Yeah, there we go. Very good, very pretty. I know, by the way, Max is my favorite. I liked a lot of the characters in Stranger Things, but if I had to pick one that was my favorite, it was Max. It was the video games. You can't really see from this angle. It was the video games and the skateboarding for me. Make sure I document the mind flayer. I see you back there. I see you back there. See it? Woo. Arms. Woo. Yeah, at this point I'm just going to do a voiceover here because there's music playing in the background. Look at that Demogorgon. Demogorgon. I wish I would have. I have some life-size monsters in my laboratory that I really wanted. I was really flirting with getting that and didn't. These dice were kind of cool. Not a D&D player myself, but these dice very specific, I guess, to each character. Lucas, they all had their own dice in there that you could get. Best thing about, look at these TV cabinets. The owners of Hawkins headquarters really invested time and money into the whole look there with them cabinets. They got a ton of them old TV cabinets, which is essential. You can catch so much stuff from the 80s. You see that Alf thing there. So much stuff in the 80s in headquarters. It's just not specifically to Stranger Things. And this is the Demogorgon. I guess I'm going to keep saying that wrong. I was like, oh, I want to get that. Another cabinet. Look at that. Yeah, you got to have the payphone. This arcade's super cool as well. In there, they got that killer football game right to the right. I think I'm going to be showing that shortly in the video. Like, this part actually gets on my nerves in a way, because I wish they would have the arcade in Douglasville. I wish they actually would have the arcade looking like a Stranger Things spot, like with some type of, whether it was a coffee house or whether it was an arcade or whether it was I don't know, whatever you wanted to make of it. I wish they wouldn't. It wouldn't just sit there abandoned in Douglasville, but it's exactly what it's doing. This game is killer. I'm very impressed that I actually seen this. Check this out. Look at this legendary piece of Cabernet Atari football. Lovely. The best. Oh, that was good. I don't think I was any good at it, but that was good. R.I.P. Benny. Leading back to a bathroom is a little bit of upside downish. You can't beat this either. Look at this. A little dark, but still. It is upside downish. And look what we got here. We got some bikes. Or a bike, not bikes. Very cool. While I'm roaming around Jackson, Georgia, aka Hawkins, Indiana. The locations that I thought that I saw on the map, I was like, oh, okay, I remember that. And then there was one where I'm standing right now that I didn't really remember. And again, I keep saying, like, that between season 4 and season 5, there was such a distance that I forget all the things I saw in 4. I rewatched season 1, but I guess by the time I get to season 4, I'll remember this place right here. So the outro of season 4, this would say right here, Hawkins. I gotta look now, duh. Wonder if they're saying Hawkins Presbyterian Church. Let's see. Yes. These are very helpful, these thingies, I call them, sorry. But anyway, yeah, so the end of season 4, this church is used with the city in a panic. And a whole bunch of the kids saw a bunch of the residents of Hawkins filing into this church, because at that point they knew how bad the situation was, the upside down was, and and everything. Okay, so this is the Hawkins Presbyterian Church, and it's a couple blocks. You can see right here. You can see the public library, City Hall, Jackson City Hall, right? And you can see the Hawkins Public Library, let's call it that. And then right here's the church. Passing Oak Street, on Oak Street, passing Walker Way. And right up here on the right, at this next, I got my words really goofy today. Next, at this, oh, I love when that happens. Look at that old faded advertisement for a store that was there. I'm going to say it's probably not there now, but look, paints. Cowboy, what? Genuine cowboy pants. Nice paints. Nice try. Look at that right there. It's a good segue into this building on the corner. The far corner here, which would be where Hawk Theater was. And if you remember Hawk Theater, as it pertains to the actual series, some jerk spray painted, I'm going to see if I get an image of it, spray painted a very offensive insult to Nancy. I don't think Nancy's name was on it. I'll see if I can find it. Cool. I think it was kind of like slut shaming her for, you know, because Steve was being a complete jerk off and his buddy was a jerk off. So that was right there. Here's actually an image. Look at this, and it tells you what exactly is around the corner. Look at this as we slide on through here. There goes your sign right there. Can't beat that. It tells you exactly what happened around the corner here. Watch this. Let's go up. Oh God, they're fighting again. What, they're fighting right here? They were fighting right here. Welcome to the alley fight scene. Okay. And that was happening right here between Steve, who, by the way, they were painting one of these walls. I don't remember what walls. There's some cool sneaks. I don't know what wall they were painting. To relook at that. I just saw that scene the other day, but they were painting, so then you were like, you know, with spray paint. So of course, you know, Jonathan and Nancy went right up and cracked Steve because the color paint that was on the Hawk Theater marquee was in the dirt. His buddy, his jerk off buddy. It was in his hand, and let me see if we get a picture of this. And so they turn this corner and look up here, and they're all here. It's Steve, his buddy's girlfriend, spray painting right here. Nancy comes up and cracks Steve right in the face because she saw Jonathan at Nancy's bedroom. Jonathan then proceeded to give Steve a whooping. A good old-fashioned whooping. God, was he laying right here? There was a car in here too, I feel Steve's car was in here somewhere too. It's a tight little fit, but it was happening. And if you're ever here in Jackson, if you're ever here at the town square, they'll guide you right to where the scene was filmed, which was right in this alleyway. That was a big scene in season 1. Very big scene. I was pulling for Jonathan. Of course, I was pulling for Will too. So yeah, I'm a Will and Jonathan guy. And not too long after that, Steve finally got his shit together. Sorry for the S-H-I-T word, but he finally got his crap together and started being a little bit of a team player as opposed to the town jerk off. So I didn't already say so. There's Hawkins headquarters. Must visit that. Great items in there. I left with some killer stuff. Welcome to Hawkins, population 1,248. And then here's another sick mural, and you gotta love the fact that they tied the mural in with the Surfer Boy pizza van right over here. Check it out. Look at that. Check it out. Look at the Atari controllers. If you were born in the 60s, this is just absolute. Some of the best memories you'll ever have sitting right there. Look at that. Bang, bang, bang. Look, we have absolutely embraced Stranger Things in Jackson, Georgia, and I love it. I want Douglasville to do the same thing. They have an event every year in Douglasville. I've covered it 2 times already. It's really, really great. There's no question about that. It's great. They do vending in front of Hawkins, the police department, during the event, which is cool. But I do not like the fact that they do not do anything with the Palace Arcade. They don't do anything with it. And oh my God, it's bothering me. I've talked to a couple people down here, vendors, merchants down here about it. It could be for any number of reasons. I think I'm going to try to find out why. But the Palace Arcade just sits there abandoned. I've been there a number of times covering stuff on my YouTube channel. I love visiting because the Palace Arcade is absolutely freaking iconic to the show, period. And I want them, oh my God, I wish I had a bunch of money. I would just buy it and then come up with a concept. Just think tank it. Just have something cool in there. Punk rock shows. Oh baby. You got a real nice mural right here. Georgia's outdoor capital. Jackson. Look at this. Isn't it? Look, I'll never be tired of murals, like ever. Let me see if I can get a better angle on this. Here, Red Devil Hill. A bunch of stuff, just what, 9-10 miles away. And I'm sure there's some pretty views in these spots too as well. Love it. Another pretty one. Right on. And then right up here, look, with the top of the City Hall Welcome Center as well. What's it, Butts County? Yeah, Butts County Welcome Center. That's where we're headed, I think, right for now. There goes this mural here too as well. Really making sure, look, I like that a lot. Look, getting tight, a little bit tighter. There you go. Look at that. Look at that. Open the main doors to the quote-unquote public library. This is the inside of it with these beautiful marble floors. I'm not really sure if they shot any kind of content for Stranger Things using the interior of the building. I'll have to research that, but I wanted to come in here and see what it looked like. And this is also the, look at this, the most watched Netflix series of all time. Right there. And this is the Welcome Center right here. Look at that. So right outside City Hall, Butts County, this marker right here, historical marker, created by act of legislature on the Christmas Eve 1825. And you could see all that, and so you see the town's history. And the interesting thing about it is, when Hollywood East, right, so the Atlanta metro area, when they decide to film, which is very common. Oh, can he make it up this hill? Steep. Woo, he does. When they decide to film, the reason why they love this area so much, especially when the amount of films that are done in this area is an incredible amount. Okay, that's a round number, isn't it? Incredible amount. Reason being, they don't build up sets to kind of duplicate or replicate something from the past, because a lot of the buildings here are still here from the 1800s, the early 1900s, and these towns and their town squares, they're not built, they've been here since the beginning of time. When Stranger Things was written and the decision was made about a possible setting for the show, they didn't have to build any kind of set whatsoever because it was right here in Jackson. This is exactly what they wanted. And I think they saved a lot of money, and the authenticity of it I mean, just look at it. None of this was built for Stranger Things. This was here already. And it made filming that much easier for them, because all they really did was canvas all the different parts of the Atlanta metro area to find spots to film. And they're not the only one. It just happens over and over and over again. Two of my most favorite TV series of all time were exclusively, for the most part, filmed down here in the Atlanta metro area. The Walking Dead and Stranger Things, just using what was already here. And it kind of is what I love the most about down here. The architecture, the facades, the old brick, the faded brick. I don't care what they do with it. Clean it, do whatever you want. But look, it's not hard to understand why they make great series and TV shows and movies and everything, just using what is here. Okay, I'm out on that one. Very good. Feeling I'm winding it down right now, and I'm looking at probably the last mural, you know, and I look, it's just, I just love the fact that like I said, they're embracing their love of the show. The fight scene between Jonathan and Steve, Nancy, was pretty much at the end of this alleyway right here. And then right over here is the Roots Outdoors. So I don't know if that store's still here. Roots Outdoors and Outfitters. We'll see what the front of it says, but look at this cool thing right here. Look at that. Okay, so the front bike's got to be 11 and Mike. Maybe Lucas, maybe Dustin, maybe Demogorgon. Look at you, Demogorgon. Look at you. Taking one of these home. Yep. And then down here some fishing and hunting, but look at this one right here. Decided to use the driveway, the alley fight scene driveway, to head back towards the car. I got two little locations I want to just put the document before I got to head home and get Braxy B from her job. But yeah, what a great experience. And guess what? I'm here on a Wednesday prior to the ice apocalypse that's coming this weekend. What's today? Wednesday, the 21st of January. As of the recording in this video. And yeah, so yeah, that big news. We got the ice apocalypse coming this weekend. I'm sure I'll be documenting that because that's a weather phenomenon. Hopefully everyone stays safe. The East Coast, I think from Philly south, is going to be under fire with Mother Nature. But yeah, this was such a pleasant experience. Jackson, Georgia, come on down. Make a day of it. We're gonna hang out right here and finish up this video. Here we go, Hawkins Library right there. And you can see it right there with the Christmas lights still hanging. I'm not mad at it. Our Christmas stuff's still up. And then right over here, yeah, here we are, public library. Right on the steps. Hopper should pull up any minute now and run in and get the most recent information that he needs about what the Stadies are doing around here. A couple of these places look pretty cool. Goat Island Tavern's got. I'm gonna have to go film what they have out front in their window. That's very interesting. And then there's I think Bradley's Old Tavern. That's where Hawk Theater was. Hold on, let's do this. So right on the corner, and then right behind that building, that was Hawk Theater on the corner. That's now a tavern. I may stop in here. I'm not really sure. I got a long ride home, but yeah, this Goat Island Tavern. I'm gonna show you what's in that front window. It's very cool looking, very cool. But then when you slide on down, right here, you got Novalds right here. That would be where Joyce worked. Remember, they gave her all that. He gave her her pay in advance, so she could wire the house to talk to Will when Will was in the Upside Down. And then right to the left of that, Jackson Escape Games. That was the Radio Shack, and that sign is over here. By right next to Lucy Lou's Coffee. There goes the headquarters. You're set for your visit when you come down. Are you kidding? You got to make it down. If you're a fan, make it to Jackson, Georgia. Make a day of it. There's so much stuff to see down here in Jackson, Georgia, and around. There's a lot to see. So that's going to do it for this episode of I was going to say this episode of Stranger Things. That'd have been funny. I should have let that one go. It is. I'm sorry. That's going to do it for this episode of Stranger Things. Come back later. Actually, rewatch the whole series because it's officially over. I'm done writing for Stranger Things. 5 seasons. But here we go. Just walking up. What street is this? Can I get the street? 2nd Street. 2nd Street seems to be a real thing. Look at this. Look at that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Have a great day, pleasant tomorrow. We're not done yet. We're almost done. There go the bells. Oh, and only you're going to hear one, because that's signaling 1 p.m. It's also telling Mike to get in the car so he can be back in time. But look. I like this a lot. Husband daycare. Oh, I like this a lot. I like all this. Okay, let's just finish up right here. So yeah, Hawk Theater, you can see the little mural down the end. Just imagine if there was a marquee there and Steve was wiping the spray paint. That's when Steve finally was getting on the right team. Dude, stop being the dick. And he did. And he cleaned that marquee right around here. Okay, and then check this out. Look at Elvis. That is a freaking killer image of Elvis, dude. That's a freaking sick image of Elvis. Husband Daycare Center. That makes sense. And you come over here, some Blues Brothers, along with some Animal. But there he is. There he is right there. If I ever had the opportunity to interview him, it would be about, I would talk to him about booking Fear on Saturday Night Live. That would be it. And yeah, there they are. Dan Aykroyd, John Belushi, Blues Brothers, and then you come right up here. And I'm probably repeating, but I don't care because I'm leaving and I'm a little sentimental, but I will be back. And hopefully I'll be back for a Stranger Things event. I think that'd be great. So this place here, you can book. You can actually book tours here. Or is this upside? Book your next event with us. Okay, this is an escape room. And you could see right in there, you could see that looks like Joyce's room entry to the escape room. I got a brochure I'm going to put on my page where you can book the escape room, which I'm pretty sure we're going to end up doing. But I was just talking to the lady here, and she was saying that is actually a tooth from the Mind Flayer from the big battle at the end of season 5, last episode, right there in the middle. And then you got the bat. Look at the bat. That's the bat Steve was swinging. Right? What am I doing here? Steve, right there, the bat Steve. Jonathan built that. And Steve ended up being the one swinging it when that big battle in season 1 at the end. Yeah, and some bricks from the school before it was demolished recently. And that's kind of cool. And of course this, I would love to have this at home. I swear to God I would. That would be great. And look at that. We got the lettering ready. We got the lights going. Very, very nice. I did want to share with you what I did get from Hawkins headquarters. Check this out. Yeah, I did not leave with the life-size Demogorgon, but I did leave with this one. I like that one, man. Look at it, real cool. And also this. And in commemoration of the Palace Arcade in Douglasville, Georgia, I said, you know what, let me leave with this too. Very cool. Bookcase, bookshelf type thing, a little shelving up top. Of course, I bought it for that, the light of it all. Very nice. A little something for Braxy B too. And yeah, real nice stuff at the headquarters, Hawkins headquarters. You got to stop in there. Yes, this is officially it. I'm closing this out. Very informative. The lady in the escape room. I'm gonna have to shift that over on the. Yeah, I'll shift that over on my short form. That's the living room at the buyer's house. You just saw that, I know. But anyway, but those items that they had, man, they're like they're not even playing. Like I'll tell you what, this area again is taking the whole theme of Stranger Things and running. And man, and not only that, if you have an establishment now, like so, the escape room is actually Radio Shack from the series, and then they are also the owners investing money in authentic stuff from the series. They have I just showed you the things that they did have in there. Apparently, they bought the police car. I don't know if that's the truck that Hopper used to drive. They got that. She did tell me that the surfer boy van does not run, so they're not even afraid to leave that out there. I mean, but I think the cop car that the escape room bought, they come and go with that. And yeah. All right, folks. Have a great day, pleasant tomorrow, and I will see you next episode. Stranger things forever, baby.